wase wangu wa Roysambu and a couple of youths manzi nasikia mlikuwa mmeenda kuoccupy kanisa, mlikuwa mmeenda kutafuta Yesu. Mkaenda kupatana na OCS na constable na afande. It's so crazy how young guys are running to churches. As in, this is the most craziest thing ever. I thought churches zetu zinafaa kuwa places of worship. To me, I thought that since wasol wamesema wataoccupy hiyo church, mimi nilikuwa na expect nitapata mapasta hapo nje, wamama wa kanisa, watu wa kanisa wako na mabibilia wanaambia vijana kujeni tuombe sasa hivi na tuchukue majina yenu nyinyi wote. And we know as a church, because as a church we make a lot of money, of course hatutumiangi Mungu na M-Pesa, so ile pesa yenye tunachukuanga yote, trust you me, sisi tunatumianga, si ndio? Ama kuna line ya Mungu ya M-Pesa? Hakuna. So instead of them telling these young guys, you know what, instead of you guys having to, kukuwa na chaos na polisi hapa na pale na kukimbizana na kuumizana, because we all know what happens and I'm going to get into that. Instead of kuambia kujeni bus, it could have started as a campaign, through their social media accounts, and they can even literally talk to influencers huku nje, as in waambie wase, unajua ni aje tulipata ile 20M, ni ukweli, but then mbona msikaa mama my youth wasikaa, instead of kukam kuoccupy maybe na fujo, mkuje tukae chini, at least we just talk. Hata na hiyo 20 million tunaweza nunua kamkate na kamaziwa, we just talk and we know the best way forward, so that you as the people who come to our churches, as the multitudes that build our churches, mnaweza tuambia literally kwa nini mnakata historia 20M sisi kupatio kwa churches, because you already know, I know you know, but in script nilikuwa na watafutia rather than, and this church I know it because nimekuwa nikipita hapo for a minute, inakuwa tuna mapolisi hapo nje, unashindwa hiyo ushuhuda kweli inalindwa na hiyo ushuhuda inalindwa na nini. But anyway, so that was basically my thing. Like I thought, wangekuja waseme vijana wetu, wacha tuwa welcome. I think ingekuwa amazing to have, a lot of youths just coming to your church, because remember, the youths are the future. So hata kwa someone zako, kumbuka wenye unafaa kuhubiria sana wenye unahitaji pia ni the young people, and the church is here to literally save the young people. So not that the old people are not to be saved, but the young people who are energetic can be used to spread the gospel even much better. That is my thinking. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, so I met a couple of young people along hizo sa Roysambu wenye walikuwa wana participate kwa hiyo occupation, and I talked to them, and one of them really asked me a crazy question. I like having conversations, ndio. So aliniuliza, inamaanisha nini man, time yenye tuko in economic crisis, that president wako anatoka huko anakuja anaingia kwa kanisa anaacha mita mbao, anaingia kanisa ingine anaacha mita zingine mbao, anaenda kanisa ingine anasema atanunua mabati za mita sijui ngapi, ananunua mabati za politicians, tunaona kila mahali wakifanya hivi, alafu wao wenyewe ndo wanakuja wanatuambiaje ati wamekataza watu kuwa wanafanya hivi, alafu wao wenyewe wanarudi tena anafaa. Wewe ungesikiaje? Wewe mwenyewe hauna job. Sasa niko na deni za fuliza, niko na deni ya mama mboga, niko na deni ya nani, hii 20 million kwenye wanatoa space watu waambilie, ama kwa hizi churches zenye wanapeana hizi 20 million, sisi churches basi zingekuwa na program zetu za youth, hata za training za nini, hata za entrepreneurial opportunities. You get what I'm saying? And it got me to think, Gen Zs are not, we will not be, sisi hamta tufunika na ile cloak ya religion. We don't roll like that. We don't maneuver like that. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, what does it mean when our president, in a time of national crisis, chooses to donate millions of shillings to churches, which, to be honest, are institutions that offer little more than sermons? They just offer sermons in mingi. To me, honestly, I don't know. Because if at all, the number of churches that we have, ni mingi, sindio? If at all they were doing anything impactful to the youths, apart from kutusomea tu sermons tu unazichukua, na sisi tunawachukia, tunawapenda. But then, if at all mngekuwa mna do more than that with the number of churches that we have, I believe tungekuwa tumesolve, I think, problems za youths kadhaa. You get what I'm saying? Because you guys get money, you are untaxed, you work with organizations which are international, you make a lot of money. Like, look at where pastors live. You get what I'm saying? Wewe angalia mahali pastor anaishi, wazee wa kijiji not wa kijiji but wa kanisa wengine, especially in these big churches, and then try and chungulia wewe mshirika mwenye unadakuwa mshirika mwenzako kwa sababu sijui jana alikula sijui managu, na wewe juu ulikula samaki wewe. We all know that in churches is where, man, go sip. Somebody tell me, like I think kanisa ndio kuna udaku ile mingi sana. I think so. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, so wewe ukijichungulia wewe na ule mshirika mwingine, kondoo mwingine, nyinyi wenyewe hata kukuja kanisa mnaomba fea. Ukitoa sadaka, kuna church zingine nilisikia huwezi toa sadaka ya chini ya dhao. Wewe ukitoa sadaka ni 50 yako umeikunja mpaka who's the president that's on the 50 Kenya shillings note? Umemkunja hadi kidogo atoke akuulize, brother, si hata unitupe basi. Mam, si hata basi utanikunja mpaka niishe kabisa. You get what I'm saying? So unang'ang'ana kutupa yako kachwani kanini, but in real sense mkikombaini pesa yenyu yote inakuja inakuwa pesa X amount mingi sana. Wewe kama mama mwenye unaenda kutoa ile 50 bob pale kwa ile kanisa, don't you think that your child should also be benefiting from that church, apart from tu kuenda kesha, sijui kuenda kuombewa lini, kuenda sijui kufanyiwa nini, kuenda sijui trip wapi, because trips is all that you guys do a lot. A lot of churches do a lot of trips. I don't know if you even do engage the youth. No, it's not like that. You need to step up and work harder. Unanipata? But anyway, I don't mean no offense to any churches. I am not against any church or any religious institution. This is just my point. I just think that him donating money to institutions that offer little more than sermons is basically not the right way to go. Yet we have the youths who are left grappling with unemployment, debt, and a future filled with uncertainty. Hakuna kitu crazy kama mtu mwenye hajui future yake itakuwaje. And literally future yake inakuwa based na mtu mwenye anaishi future yake saa hii. You already made your money. You're already in powerful positions, bro. Like you dreamt of these positions back then. So you're living your futures right now. After presidency, hakuna position ingine. Labda uende ufight hizi positions zingine za Africa. And trust you me, people have already shown that if at all here at home you are not accepted, they'll not accept you outside. Kama hapa nyumbani hauna verification yetu, tutapiga kelele. You see, the AU thing was a thing that I literally didn't expect. For me, I normally think, kawe ni Mkenya, huku nje tunafaa kushoyana ile loyalty na support. But Kenyans have gotten to a point where they're thinking, hapana, hiyo ujinga sasa tunafaa kwa sababu hautatutundura huku, hautatudhigidha huku, alafu tena tukusupport uende ukakule zaidi na ukule fiti kutuliko na kuna venye unaturepresent. And that's why a lot of young people were behind the Djibouti candidate. You get what I'm saying? Trust you me, if at all we had a candidate that especially the young people loved, the young people cherished, the young people looked forward to being the chairperson of AU, I bet that person would have won, because the amount of impact that we have on social media is so crazy as young people from Kenya. It is so crazy. Mina kwambia sini first body. And Yashinsky told you guys, sisi ni first body. Anyway, so basically that donating of those crazy amounts of money in churches, it speaks volumes about misplaced priorities and a double standard that basically undermines public interest. So again, imagine this. A leader who once declared that no politician should be donating money to churches, suddenly, and the same politician goes ahead and does just that. You know, and we are talking about the Roysambu deal. You know, the donation to one of the churches that's around Roysambu sparked an uproar. People started complaining from social media to get to the point where people wanted to occupy the church. You know, this is a protest that was led by disillusioned youths who felt betrayed by his double speak. First of all, kwanza kuna msee alikuwa anasema, kwanza alisema hakutakuwa kuna peanua donations, sijui atakuwa anachangia kwa makanisa. Yeye ndo alisema na mdomo yake. Tena anakuja anaanza but again, aren't used to the lies. Like they tell us a lot of things, alafu. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys watched the Nani's interview on with Mehdi. Is it on Al Jazeera? But it's crazy. It's crazy how one can go back on their words. So most people were taken back by the, double speak. You get? So what was the result of him basically double speaking and him going to donate to this one particular church? Just going to narrow to this one particular church. there were chaotic scenes where young voices clashed with police officers, with police forces, you know, in Roysambu and around Mirema area. Sindio, kulikuwa na lot wasio area walikuwa wanajua, tulikuwa tunaona manze adima zinaitwa nini, ni matia gas zilikuwa zinarushwa zinakuja kama zile rockets za Israel za Palestine zinakuja zikitoa hadi moshi. You get what I'm saying? And this is an area where we have children. This is an area where we have families. This is an area where we have businesses, you know, and they need to thrive. But look at where we get ourselves to. You know, the thing is, we normally focus on the damage being done. We don't look at what was the cause of the damage. It was basically from double speaking to basically doing something that you yourself said you cannot do, and then doing it and rubbing it on the young people's faces, because this is it, and I'm going to talk about it in a few. But anyway, so a lot of guys got injured and a lot of guys got to got arrested, that is at Roysambu. And as if that wasn't enough, you know, our guy followed it up with another hefty donation to a different church. I think it was in Eldoret, you know, seemingly indifferent to the growing resentment among the very people who are bearing the brunt of an economic crisis. Remember, these people are the ones who are paying the taxes. These people are the ones who are being affected when hiyo unga ikipanda bei, skari ikipanda bei, fare imepanda bei. You get what I'm saying? Man, we need to have priorities set right. I would really love to see donations happening in churches when more of our youths are employed and are not being taken to other countries to work as slaves. Ati unaenda, ati mtu anakuambia sijui unaenda kufanya kazi majuu, anaona umepanda ndege na sasa unaenda kuearn 20,000, 30,000. That is the dumbest thing ever. Like, we're just exporting casual laborers, and it's not making sense to me. I want my laborers too. Why can't we export doctors the way other countries do? Why can't we export engineers? Why can't we export professionals? You get what I'm saying? Like, we even get teachers to come and teach us music from abroad. It's not like we don't have the best singers. So like, bro, have you heard BN? Have you, bro, like, yo, and I'd be so sure that in these countries, then hata kuna mtu yote ametafutana na watu kama wao kuuliza, bro, what do you think about, you know, coming up with programs for young people, especially young people who can sing? That is someone that the government should be bothering by now. Mumrushie pesa, mumwambie haki ya nani tumekupatia hii pesa yote, watoto wetu wanafaa kuwa wanajua kui, and hold them accountable. The same way we as the people need to be holding you accountable as the government. Learn to invest in your local people. Yeah? Learn to invest in your local people. Si maneno ya kwenda kuleta watu huko, alafu sisi tukipeleka watu huko nje tunapeleka mamaid. Come on. Let's be serious, bana. Priorities. So yeah, chaotic scenes zilikuwa sio pale, vijana walisema, enough is enough. But then again, dosi wetu akaamua kuenda na akapeana tena the same amount kwa church ingine tena, basically akisimni kama he doesn't care about what you guys basically think. Because for me I'd be like, we tena nikipeana hapa tena waanze kugoma, mtoto wa mtu apigwe risasi ya kufe. Who caused it? Who did? By the way, let me just ask that question. Sahi apeane hivyo, watu hiyo watoke kwa barabara. Mtu hii, sisi obviously sisi tukiprotest, inakonga ni muko na maji yako, umejipaka Colgate, umebeba flag, hauna mambo mingi, huo mtoto apigwe risasi yaku. Whose fault is it? Mbele ya Saja atakaa ajiulize, huyu mtoto alitoka kwa nini? Kwa sababu yako. Wewe kwanza ulidanganyana, wewe kwanza ni muongo. Hata si ati ni tunanego, hiyo hata shetani anajua. You get what I'm saying? Like, wewe ni muo. Sasa mtoto wenyewe amekufa kwa sababu ya hiyo 20 million yako. Is that the cost of life? Because it means you don't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about Mama Mboga's kids, because it is Mama Mboga's kids who are going to the streets. Kwa sababu si mtoto tajiri kama ndio ataenda kwa street juu ya 20 million antimepeana kwa kanisa. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, these actions are not mere facts of charity. They are political maneuvers designed to cement influence, distract from systemic failures, and secure favor among certain religious circles. And this is a point that I want these people to note. This is a different generation. Na niliwaambia mtatufunika na blanketi ya religion, na mtajifunika na blanketi ya religion ati sasa ndio tuanze ati kusema ati ule ni mcha Mungu, unaona hata venye anatoleanga Mungu, alikuja kwa kanisa yetu, akaacha 20 million, tukaweza kujengewa structure ya 5 million, hiyo 15 million ingine hatujui kwenye ilienda, but unajua nini? Alilililili anapenda Mungu, so mimi nitampigia kura kwa sababu ule mwingine mwenye amesimama hapendi Mungu, anakunywanga pombe huyo. So you need to understand one thing. Hamtatukujia na stories za religion, and we understand it is a concept that you've used for the longest time, especially with the older generation, because to them religion was spoon-fed to them in the sense that it wasn't even spoon-fed to them, it was literally, unaona venye mtoto mluya anakunyisha nguo uji, mtoto mluya akiwa mdogo anafungwa hadi mapua, anafunguliwa mdomo hivi na go ananyongwa na uji akikunywa, which is very risky and very dangerous. But even the venye au alipatiwa religion, and of which that's why if you walk into very many homes right now, ukipata wazazi wa mabeshte zako nani, in most homes utapata something to do with religion. If they are very religious, utapata either kuna rosaries, kuna crosses, kuna picha za Jesus, kuna nini. So to them that religious appeal is there, even if they are learned, most of them, so long as ni a God hata tuseme ni a God, unaona wataanza kusema hata heri basi anaiba ama anachukua hapa analeta kwa kanisa, at least inafanya kazi ya Mungu, injili inaendelea. But injili inaendelea na nchi iendelei. Injili itaendelea aje na watu wenye wanafaa kukulewa injili iwaendeleze zaidi hao wenyewe wa move? They told you faith without action is dead. Na kama faith without action is dead, as in make it make sense to me how mnataka watu hiyo kuwe na faith but hamtaki wa create opportunities za ku make action towards achieving that which they have faith of, ama faith of achieving. You get what I'm saying? Like you want to achieve something, right? And as a human being, the things that you need to achieve as a human being physically, not spiritually, sindio? So churches inakufit the spiritual development, but then pia church inafaa ku champion for your individual, like personal, like you as a human being, your own development as a person. That is in business, that is in health, that is in all these other things. So personally, I would even expect the church to be the loudest voice saying, you know what, we also need our people to be at a position where hata wakienda binguni, hawaendi binguni kupelekea Mungu bills za hospitali. You get what I'm saying? Hawaendi binguni kuwekea sijui Mungu bills za ati hakuwaifanya biashara. Sasa mtu hata anafikanga mahali analaumu Mungu juu amekuwa na faith, but nyinyi mnapeleka pesa the wrong place, mnapeleka kanisa yenyewe isaidii mtu, inataka tu mtu yashinda kuja kutoa sadaka. So amekuwa na faith, anaomba, anajaribu kuinje. Unaona kwa ile 20 million, hata ungempatia 100,000 angeweza kujisaidi. But then the church ends up losing this one person, because this person will get to a point where they're like, you know what, I've prayed, I've tried, it's not working. You get? But then there are ways that you can be able to empower each other. So historia kukimbilia church saa hii, sisi Gen Z tushachangamka, tushaona, tushaelewa script, tushaelewa narratives venye ziukua. So if it's an action for you to try and get and have political maneuvers basically designed to cement your influence, you're just going to be influencing pastors and, you know, distracting the fanatics in the churches, and you'll just secure, you know, favors among unajua religious circles za watu kidogo sana, wale wenye wanakuja nguko kwako kuchukua brown envelopes. To be honest, that's it. You get? Because there's no point of you doing that, yet our nation is drowning in debt and our young people are struggling to find opportunities. You get? So the president's lavish donations to churches raise a really painful question. Who benefits from these funds? Who is truly being cared for? You get? Higher. So it is a high time for Kenyans to demand accountability. Accountability, very important. It is a high time that we start demanding accountability. And you need to understand that you are the boss. Your MP is not your boss. Your governor is not your boss. Your woman rep is not your boss. Your MCA is not your boss. Your president is not your boss. You are the boss. And that's why you normally say, kura yako, power yako. Kura yako ndio udosia, kwa sababu ule MP mwenye utamweka pale kama anakutakia mazuri atakufanya ukue mdosi, na siwe peke yako, anafaa kusaidia. Hiyo MP anakuanga inaitangwa aje, why am I forgetting, constituency, right? So kama ni MP anajali watu wake, ile kura yenyu ataivalue design ya ni kama mfanyikazi akikuja job akifanya kazi yake vizuri ndo anongojeanga na raise wa position ama na raise wa mshahara. I don't understand why we are the ones who are supposed to say yes sir to our MPs. MP ndo anafaa kuwa anakuambia yes sir, yes ma'am. MP ndo anafaa kuwa anakutafuta, si wewe ndo unamtafuta. And we need to make that a norm. We need to make them understand that they are the ones who are supposed to serve. We are not the ones who are serving them. Sawa? We are not the ones who are serving them. Let it get to a point where these MPs literally have to come beg at our doors. Kitu tafadhali, mimi nitafanya hivi. Hii maneno ya kuenda campaign tunaenda kupeana corona. Ati tunaenda watu 200 mali. No, we need, because that is basically what they use when they're in their power tables. Wakishare power. Mimi niko na watu wengi sana. Mimi niliona kwanza when nilikuwa Urpak. Nilikuwa na watu milioni 7. Unataka kuniambia nini? I come with 7 million strong. 7 million strong what? What have you done for those 7 million strong? Nothing. So literally we're being used as leverage for people to claim power and for people to hold on to power for a very long time, and they literally help us with nothing. So accountability is very important, and it's time for us to start demanding accountability. Our voices must rise in unison. Another thing, we need to be united. So, and we need to register as not just as voters, but as informed voters. Because we need to be pushing for leaders whose merit, vision, and genuine commitment to development rather, takes precedence over empty rhetoric. Ano wasonye tunafaa kupush for leaders wenye literally tunaangalia merit, unaona, tunaangalia track record ya umse nini ashaifanya, tunaangalia plan ya ule msenye ako nayo, ni kitu enye itakuja kutujenga ama ni empty rhetorics, ni promises, ni sweet words. You know, so we need to be very careful. We need a government that basically channels its resources into education, job creation, and entrepreneurial opportunities. We're not going to be doctors, all of us. We're not going to be engineers. We're not going to have easy careers zenye zimekuwa na zikaishi kukua. Some of us are going to, but not all of us. Sisi wote hatuwezi kuwa madaktari. So we need to have entrepreneurial opportunities where young people wanakuwa stimulated kuweza create opportunities for themselves. We also need a government that is transparent, answerable, and most importantly, a government that is for the people, a government that is democratic. That is basically what democracy is. We call ourselves a democracy, but I don't think we are a democracy. You get what I'm saying? So let us not be distracted by the sweet words of our leaders. You know, it is our duty to hold them accountable, to dismantle the power structures that prioritize patronage over progress, and to reclaim our nation from a legacy of corruption and neglect. Our future basically depends on it. And remember, you are the future. You have the power in your hands. As Gen Zs, what I'd like to ask you guys is this. Let us be on the front line. Wacha zile line za kupiga kura saa hizi sikuwe ni watu wazee wamejaa, wacha zikuwe ni vijana wadogo wamejaa. The reason is, it is our responsibility and it is our time right now. Otherwise, tutafika point yenye sasa ndio tutakuwa tunategemea watoto wetu. Na tutakuwa so masked and blindfolded that watoto wetu watakuwa wanapigana hadi na sisi. The same way we are trying to fight with our parents right now to show them this is the right way that we need to be going. So it's either we rectify it now or we are going to find ourselves in the same circumstances as our parents. Because bad governance will not last so long as people are continuing to be empowered. And that is the thing that Gen Zs have. We've all been empowered. Mwai Kibaki gave us free education. Most of us went to school. Hata kama ulikuwa ghetto, kuna wenye tulianzia Ngunyumu Primary, Kokorokocho, kuna wenye walianzia kwenye walianzia. We all had an opportunity to go to school, meaning we can be able to basically understand certain things. Hata kama ulifika class 8, it doesn't mean that you cannot take part in understanding your country and how it's being governed and everything around basically how our country is being run. You have a voice, you have a say, you're part of this country. If you are 18 and over, make sure you get yourself registered and be informed. Continue raising your voices. Remember, mkiwa wengi kweli watafanya, watatuchukua tupeleke Uganda, hawawezi. So we need to get to a point where we can be able to correct or clean out the rot in our government. So basically that is my 2 cents. I just thought of reacting to that conversation because I got to meet a couple of guys who went to Roysambu on Sunday. I believe that's yesterday. Yeah. So on Sunday walienda wakazoza yeah, and it is what it is. And to me honestly, churches better pull up their socks. I look up to a lot of people who are in who are preachers. I look up to a lot of people who are fathers and popes, not popes, fathers and priests. And I've interacted with a couple of you. I've interacted with some who are also in my family, and you're the most amazing individuals. Sometimes I understand we get compromised, but then we can always kama tunasemanga, unaweza omba Mungu msamaha na Mungu atakusamehe, but the idea is usirudie tena makosa. Right? Yeah, so we need to be having these conversations. And I'm looking forward to see what the churches will do right now. Because a lot of it are going to come to you. And a lot of these young people are going to look for alternatives for those churches. And trust you me, wazazi wetu watakuja hizo church hadi wakiwa 90. So, yeah, you better rise up and better wake up. So, basically, this is my 1s and 2s regarding that matter. They call me Don. Kutcheey, the big Don that I care, the junior black or the Keskari Orembo, number one entertainer. And this is Raw Radio, where we serve you nothing but the best of positive vibes and energy kwa sana. Na mimi msinikujie, mimi sina mambo mingi, mimi ni mrasta tu umetulia. Yale yenye niko nao kwa akili, hata ukinishika unipeleke police station, naweza kuambia vi different, but kwa akili yangu bado nafikiria vi different. Na nikiingia kwa ballot, pia nitapiga kimimi kwa sababu ni siri yangu. So anyway, take care. Bye-bye.